Most Canadians do not lose money in one dramatic moment. It doesn't usually happen with one terrible investment, or one giant mistake, or one cartoon villain stealing loonies from your wallet. It happens quietly. $10 here, $30 there, a renewal you forgot, a payment you accepted, a fee you did not question, a subscription that started free and somehow became part of your life. And this is the uncomfortable part. A lot of these money leaks do not feel like bad decisions. They feel normal. They feel adult. They feel Canadian. Insurance renews. Cars have payments. Food gets delivered. Healthcare has gaps. Coffee costs more. And somehow everyone around you seems to be doing the same thing. So you shrug. You pay. You move on. But what if the problem is not that Canadians are bad with money? What if the problem is that too many expensive habits have been made to feel completely normal? Today, we're going through 6 money leaks that Canadians keep paying for without noticing how much they are actually costing. And this is not about saying never enjoy life. That advice is useless. This is about knowing the difference between an expense that improves your life and a system that quietly charges you for being busy, tired, loyal, or trying to look like everything is fine. This video is for general educational purposes only, not personal financial advice. Now let's start with the leak that viewers ask for again and again: insurance. This one is frustrating because insurance is not optional in many parts of Canadian life. You need auto insurance if you drive, you may need home insurance if you own, you may need tenant insurance if you rent, you may need life, disability, health, dental, travel, or mortgage insurance depending on your situation. So the bill already feels unavoidable. And that is where the trap begins, because once something feels unavoidable, people stop shopping for it. They just renew. The email arrives, the premium went up, you complain for 12 seconds, then you pay it because calling around sounds exhausting. But your insurance company may be counting on exactly that. Not that you love the price, that you are too busy to leave. The leak is not only the premium, the leak is autopilot. A household might see car insurance jump by $40 a month. Home insurance jumps another $35. A small policy adds another $20. That is almost $100 a month. It doesn't feel like a financial emergency, but over a year, that's $1,200. Over 5 years, that's $6,000. And the painful part is you may have done nothing wrong. No claim, no accident, no dramatic change. Just a renewal letter that quietly asks for more. The takeaway is simple. Do not treat insurance renewal like a bill. Treat it like a shopping window. Even one comparison every year can remind you that loyalty is not always a discount. Sometimes loyalty is just a quiet permission slip to charge more. The second leak begins with the most dangerous word in marketing: free. Most subscription leaks do not begin because someone says, "You know what my life needs? Another monthly charge." They begin with a bonus. Buy this phone and get 3 months free. Use this credit card and get 6 months free. Try this streaming service free. Try this cloud storage free. Try this app free. Try this delivery membership free. At first, it feels harmless because $0 is the easiest price in the world to say yes to. But the company is not always betting that you'll love the service. Sometimes it's betting that you'll forget month 4. That is the free trial trap. The charge does not arrive when you're excited. It arrives later, when your attention has moved on. And because it's only $9.99 or $12.99 or $18.99, it doesn't feel worth the hassle. So it stays. Then another one stays. Then another one. And suddenly, your budget doesn't have one big hole. It has 14 tiny taps dripping at the same time. Let's say you have 4 forgotten subscriptions at $12.99 a month. That's about $52 a month. Not scary, but that's more than $620 a year. Over 5 years, that's over $3,100 for services you may barely use. And the trap gets even stronger when it connects to food delivery apps, because now convenience has a subscription model too. The meal looks like $18. Then comes the delivery fee, the service fee, the small order fee, the higher menu price, the tip, the tax. Maybe the monthly membership that was supposed to save money, and suddenly an $18 dinner becomes $31. The app did not just sell food, it sold relief. Because people usually order when they're tired, after work, after school pickup, after traffic, after a long commute in winter when cooking feels like climbing a mountain. That's why this leak is so powerful. You're not just paying for dinner, you're paying for exhaustion. And sometimes that's worth it. But if it becomes a pattern, it quietly becomes one of the most expensive habits in the house. The third leak is related, but it happens in public. Coffee, fast food, restaurants, and the tip screen. This is where people get defensive because nobody wants to be lectured about a coffee. And honestly, one coffee is not the problem. One lunch is not the problem. One birthday dinner is not the problem. The problem is when small convenience turns into identity. I always grab coffee. I always order lunch. We always eat out Friday. I always tap 18% because the screen is awkward. That word matters. Always. Always is where the money leaks. A $4 coffee on work days is around $80 a month. Add 2 lunches a week at $18 each, and that is another $144 a month. Add 1 casual delivery night, and suddenly the food convenience category is not small anymore. It can become $300, $400, even $600 a month without ever feeling luxurious, because it does not look like luxury. It looks like normal life. And that's the hidden mechanism. Restaurants used to feel like events. Now they feel like coping tools. Busy day? Order. Bad day? Order. No groceries? Order. Too tired? Order. Tip screen appears? Panic tap. Again, this is not about never enjoying food. It is about not letting tiredness become a business model that bills your future self every week. The fourth leak is the healthcare gap. Canada has publicly funded healthcare, but that does not mean every health cost disappears, and many Canadians learn this the expensive way. Dental cleaning, prescription drugs, glasses, physiotherapy, ambulance fees, mental health therapy, private room charges, travel for care, time off work. These costs can show up suddenly, and they don't care whether your budget was already tight. This is why the phrase free healthcare can be misleading. Medically necessary hospital and physician services are generally covered through provincial and territorial systems, but healthcare is still paid for through taxes, and many health-related expenses may still land directly on the household. So the leak is not the hospital visit. The leak is assuming there will never be a bill. A family without dental coverage can be fine for months. Then 1 cleaning, 1 filling, 1 prescription, 1 pair of glasses, and suddenly the emergency fund has a toothache. The practical takeaway is not complicated. Know your gaps before they become emergencies. Check what your province covers. Check what your workplace plan covers. Check what it does not cover. And if you have no benefits, treat health costs like a real budget category, not a surprise from the universe. Because in Canada, healthcare may protect you from many major costs, but the gaps can still leak money fast. Now let's talk about the leak that has been completely normalized: the car payment. Somewhere along the way, Canadians stopped seeing car loans and leases as debt. They became just another monthly bill. Rent, hydro, internet, phone, car payment, normal. But the car payment may be the most expensive subscription in your life. Because it does not stop at the payment. There's insurance, gas, maintenance, winter tires, repairs, parking, registration, depreciation. And in many communities, the car is not just transportation, it's a signal. A newer SUV says, "I'm doing okay." A truck says, "I can handle it." A lease says, "I always have something new." But here's the question nobody asks at the dealership. Are you buying transportation or renting the feeling of being ahead? That's where the trap begins. A $55,000 vehicle sounds scary, but $189 biweekly sounds manageable. Once the price is sliced small enough, your brain stops treating it like a major debt decision. A lease can make this even easier. The payment may feel lower, but you may never own the vehicle. At the end, you face the same choice again. Buy it out, return it, lease another one, and the cycle continues. Imagine a household pays $650 a month for a vehicle. That is $7,800 a year. Over 7 years, that is $54,600. Before insurance, before gas, before repairs, before the winter tires that somehow always cost more than you emotionally prepared for. This does not mean nobody should finance or lease a car. Canada is big. Transit is not perfect. Winter is real. Families need transportation. But when a car payment becomes permanent, your future paychecks are already spoken for before they arrive. And the final leak may be the most emotional one: lifestyle pressure. This is the leak that does not show up as one line item. It hides inside everything else: the better car, the nicer clothes, the bigger house, the newer phone, the brand name bag, the vacation you can't really afford, the home upgrade because everyone else's kitchen looks better. Nobody calls it pressure. They call it taste. They call it standards. They call it wanting better. But sometimes what we are really buying is proof. Proof that we are not falling behind. Proof that we belong. Proof that we are doing fine. And this is painful because Canadians are not imagining the pressure. Life has become expensive. Housing is expensive. Food is expensive. Insurance is expensive. Debt is expensive. So when everything already feels hard, looking successful can become a weird form of emotional protection. But the math does not care what the purchase was trying to prove. It only cares whether the money stayed with you or left. This is the real pattern behind all 6 leaks. Insurance renewal rewards inattention. Free trials reward forgetfulness. Food apps reward exhaustion. Healthcare gaps punish assumptions. Car payments reward monthly thinking. Lifestyle pressure rewards comparison. And together, they create the feeling so many Canadians know too well. You worked, you earned, you paid everything, and somehow there is nothing left. So here's the simple test. Before any recurring cost stays in your life, ask one question: would I choose this again today? Not 5 years ago, not when the free trial started, not when the salesperson was smiling, not when I was tired and hungry. Today, would I choose this again? If the answer is no, you found a leak. And plugging a leak does not require becoming cheap. It requires becoming awake. Because the goal is not to stop living. The goal is to stop letting quiet systems spend your money before you get a chance to. So comment below which leak hits hardest: insurance, subscriptions, food delivery, healthcare gaps, car payments, or lifestyle pressure. And if you want more simple Canadian money explainers like this, subscribe to New Canadian Wallet. Because sometimes the fastest way to feel richer is not earning more, it's finding the money that was quietly leaving.